Hello, everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, today I thought we would do something different. Now, I want everyone to understand this is not an indictment against Coach Joe Judge. I think that he could be an incredible coach for the Giants. There is a history of special team coaches becoming wonderful head coaches and winning Super Bowls. But what I want to look at is, did the Giants miss out on the next great head coach who could possibly be Eric Bieniemy? Now, the thing is, and of course, they couldn't really interview or do anything. Well, they did interview Eric, but they really couldn't make a decision on Eric till after the Super Bowl. So you know what? I'm cutting the Giants some slack on that. But the Giants, over the years, have let wonderful coaches slip by or even leave the building. I mean, think about it. We had a coaching staff that had not only Tom Landry on it, but Vince Lombardi. I mean, we had Bill Belichick in the house. We had Sean Payton in the house. So, I mean, you know, those are going to be three Hall of Famers, or two Hall of Famers now, one Hall of Famer in Belichick, and a potential Hall of Famer in Sean Payton if he can get to the big dance one more and win another Super Bowl. So our problem is, a lot of times, and it's something that's happened recently, we do panic hires. And this is going back to Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo, of course, was on the staff for 2 years as an offense coordinator with Tom Coughlin. And when Coughlin was let go, McAdoo was not a top candidate to replace Coughlin. It wasn't until our top candidates came and went, which I find interesting because the Giant job used to be a coveted job, and now it's like we can't give it away to anybody. So what happened was they got wind, or there was a rumor that came out that the Eagles, who McAdoo had a relationship with because of Andy Reid, because he worked on Andy Reid's staff, was going to reach out and hire Ben. Now, and of course the Giants heard this, and they went out and signed McAdoo right away, you know, to the point that the poor guy couldn't even get a suit that fit. So I was speaking to someone who worked in the Eagle organization during that time period. He's no longer with the organization, so you can take this with a grain of salt. You can take it any way you want. He told me that Ben McAdoo was never in real consideration for the position. He was on a list, but he was in never real consideration. Their hire was always going to be Doug Peterson. And they found it interesting that the Giants reacted the way they did so quickly and hired McAdoo. And, of course, like a day later, the Eagles hired Doug Peterson. And, of course, Peterson went on to win a Super Bowl, and McAdoo was still looking for a job. So, to me, that was a panic hire. Now, everything that happened with Matt Rule going to Carolina, the Giants in some ways did the same thing again. Now, I'm not saying that Joe Judge was a panic hire. I'm not saying that Joe Judge they just hired because of the Matt Rule situation. What I am saying was it's a little eerily similar to the McAdoo hire. Their number one candidates were gone, and they just kind of dove into their second-tier candidates and picked someone right away. Now, that's where I find it interesting because of the fact that, like I said, Eric Bieniemy, we interviewed him, but we really couldn't do much more with him until after the Super Bowl. So I have a feeling the Giants didn't want to sit out there that long and wait for someone like Eric to finish his Super Bowl run. Now, I have always been a big fan of Eric. He kind of has been following the same path as Doug Peterson of the Eagles and Matt Nagy of the Bears. Peterson and Nagy were offensive coordinators under Reid before they landed their head coaching jobs. Now, of course, Peterson went on the Super Bowl. Nagy went 11-5, I think, the first year, and 8-8 second year. But I think that has to do a lot more with Mitchell Trubisky than anything of the coaching. I think he actually did a good coaching job to get his team to 8-8. But these were guys that, like I said, have come from the Andy Reid tree. Now, honestly, the Belichick tree, if you take a look back at it, it's not full of fruit that has produced much in the NFL. And again, I am not saying that Joe Judge is not going to be an incredible head coach, that he is not going to keep to be the Giants coach for 15 years, lead us to 5 Super Bowls and the promised land. I am not saying that at all, because you know what? I don't know if he's going to be a good coach. You don't know if he's going to be a good coach. Giants don't know if he's going to be a good coach. And like I said, when you're the special teams coach, you are a little bit more higher profile on the entire team than an offensive coordinator or position coach. Special teams coach addresses the whole team on a weekly basis. So they're front and center. Now, Joe Judge, it seems to me like he's going to be a wonderful CEO of the Giants, that he's going to oversee everything and he is going to work, let his coordinators work and have his hands in everything, which is fantastic. But it's almost like Eric Bieniemy, to me, he's kind of followed the same career path as Joe. Joe's mainly been a special team coach, but Joe's been under Belichick. But Joe's got the rings from college as well. Eric's only had a couple seasons as the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, but, he's really helped orchestrate one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history over the last 2 years. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Andy Reid does all the play calling, but even Andy Reid came out and said that Eric helps assemble the playbook and the weekly game planning, and he runs the offensive meetings. So he's there. He's also the guy that Mahomes hears in his helmet every day on game days. So he's calling in the plays. So my thing is, wouldn't it have been smart maybe to potentially wait till after the season and kind of compare Eric to Joe? I mean, Eric, worked the last 2 years with Patrick Mahomes, and we know how Patrick Mahomes has gone, where his career's taken off to. He's the best quarterback in the league after 2 years. Not that I don't think Joe Judge is going to do the same for Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is going to be our quarterback. Daniel Jones is going to be our man. He is going to be the one that runs the offensive show for the next 10 years, hopefully. Wouldn't it be smart to have maybe an offensive guru as a head coach who can really help Jones develop? Not that I'm saying he's ever going to develop into Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Jones is his own guy. But I worry and I wonder, was the rush for the Giants to have a head coach pushed into the Joe Judge hire? Because it's like, again, I don't want to call his hire a panic hire yet because we don't know. But I think Eric Bieniemy should have had a shot at the Giant job. And like I said, the problem was his success in the postseason costed him an opportunity as a head coach. And I really think, I really think that he has the potential and he has the smarts football-wise, and he's had the right tutelage under Andy Reid and other coaches that he really could, progress into something special. And again, like I said, I'm not saying Joe Judge is not going to be a wonderful head coach for the Giants. I'm just worried that we missed out again on the next great head coach because we were in such a hurry to fill that position. And like I said, it bothers me that as being the New York Giants, we should have had, we haven't had it in years. We haven't had it since Coughlin, that we should have head coaches, beating down our door wanting to take the Giant job. And it's not happening. I mean, that's how much we've fallen off the planet in a major market, in the NFL. You don't hear coaches saying that, I really want to coach the Giants. You hear like college coaches saying it, people that are looking for, a second chance say it, and it's like the Pat Shurmur hire. I think that was a panic hire as well. We went and, our top choices were gone. He had a good season in Minnesota as the offensive coordinator, so we hired him. Again, it's what happened to the Giant job. But like I said, I hope that Joe Judge I hope he's Parcells, Belichick, and Coughlin reincarnated, all rolled in together. That's what I hope. And I think that's what all fans hope. But I think sometimes Mara and Tisch, well, mainly Mara, they don't take the long view of the team in reference to leadership. I think they're doing that with Gettleman right now, and I think they're trying to maintain the course and hold the ship, on its course with Gettleman and not make the change. That's the other reason why I don't think they got rid of Jerry Reese after they fired Coughlin, that they were trying to keep the rudder of the ship going straight. But the problem is, like I said, sometimes if you wait, my theory is this: nobody else was going to hire Joe Judge. Let's be honest. How many you go online, you talk to people, nobody was on the Joe Judge radar was not beeping for a lot of teams. he would have been there after the Super Bowl. You know, and everyone's like, well, he's going to be great. Look at his press conference. I don't know. I've seen some great press conferences before and have seen some crappy coaches. You know, I just, like I said, I just hope that we didn't rush into this. And I hope that we didn't pass on an opportunity to second interview Eric Bieniemy, because of the fact that I really do think that he is going to be a guy in the next 5 years that's going to get his opportunity and is really going to take the NFL by storm. But like I said, guys, we can only hope that Joe Judge is the real deal. And like I said, I got my fingers crossed that he is. And we just have to wait and see what happens, because the season is far, far away. And that's why we're doing topics such as this. And again, if you have anything that you want us to do a topic on, you know, please leave us a comment. We've had a couple comments over the last couple of days about some topics that we are going to do. Again, I'm supposed to tell people, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Again, if you want to subscribe, that's great. Don't want to subscribe, that's also great. If you want to just watch, you know what, that's great as well. We just do this for fun, and we just want to provide the best information that we possibly can for you. Again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment, and thanks for listening.